Gale's situation is structurally similar but psychologically separate, because Gale has the language to recognize that he was groomed, which is an excellent choice on the part of Larian because it would be exceedingly strange for a wizard to not recognize his romantic dynamic with the goddess of magic. However, due to her divine status, her words have held far more weight in his mind than any other entity could. As such, Mystra doesn't even need to be present for him to punish himself. He's built her into his self-worth so completely that her silence after the orb incident feels like a deserved punishment for his own failure, which is an exquisite cruelty, as merely withholding her approval is enough to morally devastate him. This is where the grooming becomes explicit. Any healthy mentor and student relationship would allow for mistakes. But to Mystra, perfection is the only acceptable state, so to Gale, any deviation from her divine will is a personal failure. What makes this abuse so devastatingly effective is that Mystra is the source of his power. She's woven so completely into his identity that to reject her means rejecting magic itself. And this is what Baldur's Gate 3 understands about grooming that most narratives miss. It's about targeting someone's dependency. Their relationship is akin to entrapment because the difference in their power is literally infinite, as Mystra made sure that the thing Gale loves most in the realms, magic, exists entirely at her discretion. So when she infects him with a magical bomb and offers suicide as the path to redemption, us as outside observers immediately see that as irredeemable abuse. But to Gale, it's merely evidence that he's not good enough. It's a particularly obscene cruelty because it's transformed his body into a symbol of her rejection, as his every heartbeat acts as another reminder that he failed her. What's truly despicable is that she knows her silence is more effective than any kind of act of condemnation, because she knows Gale has learned to wield her judgment as a weapon against himself, which is the ultimate victory for Mystra or any abuser, because she's colonized his inner world so savagely that he's policing himself on her behalf. So for Gale to heal, he has to decouple his worth from Mystra's approval. As such, you have to treat him with inherent value, not because of his brilliance or gameplay benefits, but just because he exists. This doesn't instantly reverse the mentality of his dependent relationship. In fact, he merely starts to ask if he's allowed to live for himself. And even when he can stand up for himself, he stays grateful for what Mystra gave him, yet refuses to let her kill him for wanting more than she was willing to give. And by refusing to complete the arc she wrote for him, he claims victory over his doubt. What Astarion and Gale's arcs reveal is that power isn't the answer to trauma rooted in vulnerability. The real answer is to be vulnerable around people who won't exploit you, showing that even though you suffered at the hands of another, you can't overcome that pain alone.